Have you ever wondered what secrets lie in the abandoned corners of Australia? Hidden far from the bustling cities, these forgotten towns are shrouded in mystery, their stories etched into the cracked earth and faded walls. Imagine places where the wind whistles through empty streets, carrying whispers of lives and dreams long gone. Each creaking door and shattered window hints at a time when laughter echoed through these lanes, when families gathered in bustling pubs, and children played under the relentless sun. Some say the shadows here hold more than just memories. In the mining boom of the 1800s, towns like these sprang up overnight, only to be deserted just as quickly when fortunes faded. Locals whisper of ghostly figures glimpsed at twilight, of mysterious lights flickering in empty windows, and of secrets buried beneath the red soil, waiting to be uncovered. Tonight, we're digging deep into the creepiest ghost towns down under, where the past lingers, watching and waiting. Join us as we unveil the mysteries, legends, and chilling tales that haunt these silent streets. Deep in the heart of the Pilbara region of Western Australia, far from bustling cities and modern highways, lies a place shrouded in silence and shadow, Wittenoom. Once a beacon of hope in the vast red wilderness, today it stands as one of Australia's most haunting reminders of human ambition gone tragically awry. Once marked on every map, Wittenoom is now a ghost, a place so toxic it's been deliberately erased, as if trying to forget its tragic past could make the danger disappear. The government has gone so far as to remove its name from road signs and official documents, attempting to wipe away the memory of what happened here. The story of Wittenoom began in the 1930s, when prospectors discovered a mineral that would change everything: blue asbestos, or crocodilite. The promise of wealth and opportunity drew people from across the country, eager to carve out a future in the red dust. The mine opened in 1943, and soon, Wittenoom was thriving, its population swelling to over 20,000 at its peak. Miners, laborers, and entire families flocked to this remote outpost, their dreams fueled by the hope of prosperity. They built homes, schools, and shops, never suspecting that the very ground beneath their feet, and the air they breathed, was laced with a silent killer. Children played in the streets, mothers hung laundry in the sun, and the town pulsed with the energy of new beginnings. For decades, Wittenoom thrived. Children played in playgrounds dusted with a strange blue powder. Miners toiled under the harsh sun, and the town pulsed with life. But all the while, invisible asbestos fibers drifted through the air, settling on skin, clothes, and lungs. The danger was everywhere, but no one could see it, until it was too late. The blue dust coated everything: school desks, kitchen tables, even the local swimming pool. The deadly dust crept into every home and every breath, poisoning the people from the inside out. It was a slow, relentless assault, one that would only reveal its true horror years later. Workers would return home, their clothes saturated with asbestos, unknowingly exposing their families to the same invisible threat. As the years passed, sickness began to spread. Mesothelioma, asbestosis, and other lung diseases haunted the community, turning hope into fear and prosperity into tragedy. Hospitals filled with patients whose only crime was living and working in Wittenoom. Some families lost multiple generations, fathers, mothers, and children, all to the same invisible enemy. Eventually, the government could no longer ignore the mounting death toll. Declaring the town too dangerous to inhabit, they cut off essential services, closed roads, and wiped Wittenoom from most official maps. It was an unprecedented act, a town condemned not by war or disaster, but by the very industry that once gave it life. In 2007, Wittenoom was officially degazetted, its postcode removed, and its remaining residents urged to leave. Today, Wittenoom stands as a chilling reminder of what happens when profit is placed above people. Officially closed, its streets are empty, its buildings crumbling, and nature slowly reclaims what remains. Yet the ghost of the town lingers, whispering warnings to those who dare approach. The wind carries not just dust but memories, of laughter, of loss, of lives forever changed. Incredibly, a handful of stubborn souls refuse to leave, choosing to live among the ruins, surrounded by memories and the ever-present risk. For them, Wittenoom is more than a place. It's home, no matter the cost. One resident, Lorraine Thomas, stayed until the very end, tending her garden and recalling the days when the town was alive, even as friends and neighbors fell ill around her. Here, the very air is a threat. Each breath carries the risk of invisible, deadly fibers. The danger is not just in the ground, but in every sunbeam that catches the swirling dust. Survivors and their families have fought for recognition and compensation. Their stories are testament to resilience and heartbreak. Tourists are strictly warned to stay away, and the area is off limits to all but the most determined. Yet the forbidden nature of Witanoom only adds to its dark allure, drawing the curious and the thrill-seekers who want to glimpse a town lost to time and tragedy. Some leave with nothing but photographs. Others, perhaps, with a sense of unease that lingers long after they've gone. Some say that on quiet nights, you can still hear the echo of coughing in the darkness, or catch a glimpse of spectral miners wandering the ruins, ghosts of those who paid the ultimate price for Witanoom's brief prosperity. The town's legacy is not just in its empty streets, but in the thousands of lives it touched, and the lessons it left behind. Witanoom wasn't simply abandoned. It was destroyed by the very substance that once promised so much. The blue asbestos that built the town ultimately murdered it, leaving behind only sorrow and warning. Over 2,000 deaths have been linked to Witanoom's asbestos, and the number continues to rise as the latency of the diseases stretches across decades. If you ever find yourself near Witanoom, you'll notice the blue-tinged soil and the heavy, uneasy air. It's as if the land itself is whispering a warning. Don't come closer. Danger lies ahead. The silence is thick, broken only by the wind and the distant memory of a once thriving community. Would you risk a journey to a place where the ghosts are invisible, hiding in every breath, and the past is never truly gone? Witanoom is more than a ghost town. It is a scar on the landscape, a story of ambition, tragedy, and the enduring cost of forgetting the lessons of history. Imagine waking up to silence. No footsteps, no laughter, just the wind whispering through empty streets and the distant creak of a forgotten door. This is Gwalior, a place where the past lingers like the morning mist, and every shadow seems to hold a memory. Founded in 1897 after gold was discovered by prospectors Jack Carlson, Frank White, and others, Gwalior quickly transformed from barren outback to a bustling gold rush town. People flocked from across the world, Italians, Yugoslavs, British, and Australians, all chasing the promise of fortune in the red dust. The town pulsed with life. By 1910, over 1,200 people called Gwalior home. The Sons of Gwalior Mine, managed for a time by a young Herbert Hoover, who would later become President of the United States, was the heart of it all. The clang of picks, the rumble of carts, and the laughter of children filled the air. At night, the glow of lanterns spilled from windows, and the local hotel buzzed with stories of luck and loss. But beneath the surface, life was hard. The desert was unforgiving, and the work was dangerous. Still, families built lives here, celebrating weddings, births, and the small joys of community. Then, in December 1963, everything changed. The mine closed with little warning. In a matter of days, nearly everyone packed up and left, leaving houses fully furnished, tables set for meals that would never come, and personal belongings scattered as if their owners might return at any moment. It's as if time itself froze, capturing a community's final heartbeat. Today, Gwalior stands as a living ghost town, a place where echoes of the past linger in every shadow and every creaking floorboard. The schoolhouse sits empty, its chalkboard still bearing the last lesson. The hotel's doors swing in the breeze, and the post office waits for letters that will never arrive. Walk its silent streets, peek into the miners' cottages, and you'll feel a century of stories pressing in from all sides. Each doorway and window holds secrets, waiting for someone to listen. Some visitors say they hear the faint strains of an old gramophone, or catch the scent of bread baking in a long cold oven. Locals whisper of spirits, miners who never left, still searching for lost fortunes. Visitors report shadowy figures drifting through the night, laughter echoing from empty hotels, and the faint scent of tobacco in rooms long abandoned. One former resident, Mary, recalls returning years later and hearing her father's voice calling her home, though the house was empty. Some say objects move on their own, chairs rock gently as if someone just stood up, and old clocks tick in empty rooms. There are tales of a miner's ghost who appears at dusk, searching for his lost locket, and of a child's laughter drifting from the abandoned schoolyard. Gwalior is more than a collection of abandoned buildings. It's a monument to hope, heartbreak, and the relentless pursuit of dreams. Here, the line between the living and the dead feels paper-thin, as if the past is always just a breath away. Every gravestone tells a story, every ruin holds a memory. Would you spend the night in a miner's cottage, knowing you might wake to a ghostly visitor, or perhaps the echo of your own footsteps in a place where time stands still? In Gwalior, the gold may be gone, but the stories and the spirits remain, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. Silverton is like stepping onto a movie set, because in many ways, it is. This tiny outback town, perched on the edge of the New South Wales desert, looks frozen in time, its wide, dusty streets lined with weathered buildings that whisper stories of a wilder era. In the late 1800s, Silverton was a magnet for fortune seekers. Silver ore was discovered here in 1875, and within a decade the town exploded with life. Miners, prospectors, and entrepreneurs flocked to the outpost, hoping to strike it rich. At its peak, Silverton boasted over 3,000 residents, dozens of pubs, and a wild, lawless spirit that earned it a reputation as the Wild West of Australia. But the boom was short-lived. When richer silver deposits were found in nearby Broken Hill, Silverton's population drained almost overnight. The once bustling streets fell silent, and the grand hotels and saloons became hollow shells, silent witnesses to the town's rapid rise and fall. Yet Silverton refused to fade into obscurity. Its haunting beauty and rugged charm caught the eye of filmmakers. Most famously, it became the backdrop for Mad Max 2, where the desolate landscape perfectly matched the film's post-apocalyptic vision. Over the years, Silverton has starred in dozens of movies, TV shows, and commercials, earning its place as Australia's most iconic outback film set. But beneath the Hollywood glamour, Silverton's past lingers in the shadows. Locals tell tales of ghostly miners wandering the ruins, phantom horses galloping down empty streets, and the echo of raucous laughter drifting from deserted pubs. Some say the spirits of those who never struck it rich still haunt the town, searching for fortunes lost to time. As the sun sets, the outback wind stirs up dust and memories. Shadows stretch long across the main street, and the air grows thick with the weight of history. It's easy to imagine the clatter of boots on the boardwalk, the jingle of spurs, and the distant sound of a harmonica drifting on the breeze. Walking Silverton at dusk, you might feel eyes watching from broken windows, or catch a glimpse of a shadow slipping away just out of sight. Some visitors swear they've heard footsteps behind them, or felt a sudden chill as they passed the old jailhouse. Would you wander these streets at midnight, knowing you might not be alone? In Silverton, the past is never far away. Its Wild West echoes and ghostly mysteries waiting for those brave enough to listen. Imagine a place so remote, so cut off from the world, that the only way in or out is by train, rattling across the endless sun-baked Nullarbor Plain. This is Cook, South Australia, a speck of humanity in a sea of emptiness. Once, Cook was a vital lifeline for the Transcontinental Railway, a bustling stopover for workers and travellers alike. In its heyday, the town boasted a school, a hospital, and a population of over 200. But as rail operations became automated, Cook emptied almost overnight, leaving behind only a handful of residents and a scattering of sun-bleached buildings. Today, only a few souls remain, caretakers of the past, living in a place where silence is a constant companion. They tend to the refueling stop, maintain the tracks, and watch as the Indian Pacific train thunders through, pausing only briefly before vanishing into the horizon. For the residents, life is a test of endurance. Supplies arrive by train, and the nearest neighbor is hundreds of kilometers away. The days are marked by the relentless sun, the howl of the wind, and the distant rumble of approaching locomotives. Step off the train, and you're greeted by a silence so deep it feels almost alive. The emptiness is overwhelming, an echoing void that presses in from every side. Yet for those who remain, Cook is home. They find comfort in the vastness, in the routines of daily life, and in the stories that linger on the wind. Locals whisper of spectral figures wandering the tracks at night, ghostly railway workers, forever waiting for a train that will never come. Some say you can hear the faint echo of laughter from the old schoolhouse, or catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure disappearing into the scrub. The Nullarbor's vastness is both beautiful and haunting. Under a sky ablaze with stars, you can't help but wonder, are you truly alone out here? Or do the spirits of Cook's past still linger, watching over the tracks and the endless plain? Would you spend a night in Cook, surrounded by nothing but the endless echoing void? Or would the weight of history and the whispers of the Nullarbor prove too much to bear? In Cook, the line between past and present blurs, and the silence tells stories all its own. Farina, nestled deep in the heart of the South Australian outback, is a place where the relentless desert slowly reclaims what was once a beacon of hope. In the late 19th century, this remote settlement drew dreamers and pioneers, lured by the promise of prosperity and the challenge of taming the red dust. The town's name, Farina, Latin for flower, reflected the founder's bold ambition to transform the barren landscape into a thriving agricultural hub. Today, the wind whispers through empty streets, carrying stories of ambition, hardship, and dreams lost to time. Farina's story began in 1878, when hopeful settlers arrived, convinced that with enough determination, they could coax life from the unforgiving earth. They built irrigation systems, dug wells, and planted wheat and barley, believing that rain would follow their plows. For a time, their optimism seemed justified. Fields sprouted green, and families arrived, building homes and businesses. The town bustled with life: a post office, 2 hotels, a police station, and even a school. The Garn Railway, stretching north to Alice Springs, brought travelers and trade, and Farina became a vital stop in the vast emptiness of the outback. For a brief shining moment, Farina thrived. Stone houses and bustling shops lined the dusty streets. Children played in the shade of wide verandas, and the air rang with laughter and hope. The town's multicultural community, Afghan cameleers, Chinese market gardeners, and European settlers, worked side by side, forging a unique outback society. But the rains grew scarce, and the wells began to dry. The harsh reality of the outback set in: searing heat, dust storms, and years of drought. Crops withered, livestock perished, and the once busy railway station saw fewer and fewer visitors. One by one, families packed up and left, seeking better fortunes elsewhere. By the 1960s, Farina was deserted, its proud buildings left to crumble under the harsh, unforgiving sun. The desert, patient and persistent, began to reclaim what was once taken from it, erasing the traces of human endeavor. The railway was rerouted, and the last residents drifted away, leaving behind only memories and ruins. Today, only ghostly ruins remain: shells of houses, the skeleton of a church, and the iconic underground bakery built to escape the searing heat above. These silent structures stand as monuments to the resilience and determination of those who once called Farina home. The underground bakery, in particular, tells a story of ingenuity. Its cool, subterranean chambers once filled with the scent of fresh bread, feeding railway workers and townsfolk alike. Locals say the spirits of Farina's pioneers still haunt the ruins, their dreams and struggles echoing in the silence. At dusk, the wind seems to carry their voices, and the graveyard, where weathered headstones mark the resting places of settlers, cameleers, and children, tells stories of lives lived and lost in the unforgiving outback. Among the graves is that of young Mary O'Reilly, who died of fever at just 7 years old, and Abdul Hassan, an Afghan cameleer who braved the desert's dangers to deliver supplies to the town. Every year, dedicated volunteers return to Farina, working tirelessly to preserve what's left. They restore crumbling walls, uncover forgotten graves, and piece together the town's remarkable history, ensuring that Farina's legacy endures for future generations. Their efforts breathe new life into the ruins, and for a few weeks each year, the town echoes once more with voices, laughter, and the spirit of community. Would you dare to explore these haunted ruins, knowing the desert keeps its secrets well hidden? In Farina, the past lingers in every stone, every shadow, and every whisper of the wind, waiting for those curious enough to listen and brave enough to remember. Hidden deep within the misty valleys of New South Wales, shrouded by rolling fog and silence, lies the forgotten settlement of Joaja. Once a thriving community with a distinctly Scottish soul, Joaja was founded in the 1870s by Scottish immigrants drawn by the promise of work and a new life. These settlers, many of whom had left behind the coalfields of Scotland, built sturdy stone cottages and close-knit neighborhoods, their laughter and music echoing through the valley. Life in Joaja was tough but vibrant. Families worked side by side in the shale oil mines, enduring long hours and harsh conditions, yet finding comfort in community gatherings, salids, and Sunday picnics by the creek. The town's fortunes rose and fell with the price of oil. When the market collapsed in the early 1900s, Joaja's dreams faded. Families packed up, leaving behind their homes, memories, and even personal belongings. Today, the ruins tell their own story. Rusted machinery tangled in vines, stone walls crumbling under the weight of time, and the faint scent of oil still lingering in the air. Visitors speak of cold spots, and ghostly whispers drifting through the fog, and some claim to have seen shadowy figures moving between the ruins, perhaps the spirits of miners who never left. The isolation here is profound. Fog muffles every sound, and the overgrown paths twist through a landscape where nature has reclaimed almost everything. Yet among the mossy gravestones and rusted lanterns, the mysteries of Georgia endure. Who were the people who vanished into history? What secrets did they leave behind in these haunted hills? Would you dare to walk these forgotten trails, searching for the truth behind Georgia's ghostly legends? And perhaps, to hear the echoes of a lost community calling out from the mist. Hidden deep within Victoria's mist-shrouded mountains, Walhalla emerges like a memory from another era, a ghost town wrapped in legend and silence. The air here is thick with fog, curling through the towering gums and clinging to the remnants of a once thriving community. In the late 1800s, Walhalla was a beacon for fortune seekers. Its steep, winding streets bustled with miners, merchants, and hopeful families, all drawn by the promise of gold glittering beneath the earth. At its peak, over 4,000 people called this remote valley home, and the sound of pickaxes and laughter echoed through the hills. But as the gold veins dwindled, so did the town's fortunes. By the 1920s, the forest began to reclaim what was once its own. Creeping vines and towering ferns swallowing deserted homes and silent streets. Today, only a handful of residents remain, their lives entwined with the ghosts of the past. The mines themselves are legendary, labyrinths of darkness carved deep into the earth. Many entered these tunnels, chasing dreams of riches, but not all returned. Locals still whisper about the lost souls who vanished in the depths, their fates sealed by cave-ins or the treacherous underground rivers. On misty nights, the town takes on an otherworldly glow. Some say you can hear faint voices drifting from the mines, or catch a glimpse of ghostly lights flickering between the trees. I remember standing by the old mine entrance one evening, the fog so thick it muffled every sound, except perhaps the distant echo of footsteps that weren't my own. The cemetery perched on a lonely hillside is a place where time stands still. Moss-covered headstones bear the names of miners lost to accident and illness, their stories etched in stone. Locals tell of spectral figures wandering among the graves at dusk, restless spirits searching for loved ones or the fortunes they never found. Walking Walhalla's misty streets, I felt the weight of history pressing in from all sides. Every creak of timber, every swirl of fog seemed to carry a story of hope, loss, and the relentless march of time. It's a place where the past never truly lets go. Would you dare descend into the mines where shadows linger and legends are born? Or wander the graveyard after dark, listening for whispers among the stones? In Walhalla, the line between history and haunting is as thin as the morning mist. After journeying through these silent, abandoned corners of Australia, can you imagine standing where life once thrived, feeling the weight of stories left untold? Would you dare to walk these forgotten streets, to listen for echoes of laughter and loss carried on the wind? Each ghost town is a haunting reminder that the past never truly disappears. It lingers, waiting in the shadows, woven into every crumbling wall and overgrown path. We want to hear from you. Have you ever visited a place that felt frozen in time, or do you have your own tales of Australia's lost towns? Share your thoughts, memories, or even your wildest theories in the comments below. Let's keep these mysteries alive together. And if you're feeling brave, maybe one day you'll set out to explore these haunting places for yourself, standing where history lingers and the unknown awaits. Don't forget to subscribe for more